Something amazing is happening with reform at the moment here in the UK. People are starting to believe. And that's what I wanted. I really wanted to believe. I wanted to vote for them. But Richard Tice made that extremely difficult for me personally. And just to reiterate here, it wasn't the party itself, it was Richard Tice. That guy said and did things which simply didn't resonate with reform voters. And because I was picking up on this and making videos on them, I was getting countless emails and DMs on Twitter from people within reform, even the hierarchy, asking me and other YouTubers to back off because there were things happening behind the scenes to try and get Richard Tice to either stand down or step aside. And I said, well, as long as Richard Tice is still leader, I will still make videos and so will other YouTubers, so there. And to mine and many other people's delight, he did so eventually. Of course, that's not down to us. I think it was down to Nigel Farage at the end of the day because of the backlash he received when he said he wasn't standing for election and taking his time to the US instead. And so when he came back and he announced he was becoming leader and also standing in a constituency as a candidate, that made me believe again. And that's what was wrong with Richard Tice. He simply wasn't Nigel Farage. And Nigel Farage has got that certain je ne sais quoi, hasn't he? And when he was assaulted by that woman who sells a growler online for £8 a pop, well, that was enough for me to become a fully paid up member of Reform, which I now am. And Nigel Farage's presence carries so much weight that it's caused a major shift in the polls. Because now, Reform UK are now just 2 points behind the Tories in the latest YouGov poll. So you've got Labour at 40%, Conservatives at 19%, and Reform at 17%. And as someone said on Twitter about this, if Reform can pinch 5% off Labour, does that not put us in a Reform Conservative coalition territory with Farage as Prime Minister? Now, regarding that, who knows? But politics, it's a weird business, isn't it? It's an odd game. But I wouldn't want Farage or Reform to make any deal with the Tories. They screwed him over last time, and the Tories simply cannot be trusted. Now, saying all that, and it's all good stuff, I believe there is one other person, a certain guy, who I believe can give Reform and Nigel Farage that extra oomph or horsepower, call it what you will. And that guy is Tommy Robinson. Now, I know this is going to be a controversial statement, but after being at his march on Saturday in London, I can see for myself the guy has major pulling power. Tommy Robinson managed to get 20,000 people from everywhere, of all demographics, to march together for a common cause. And that cause was, of course, the resignation of Met Chief Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley due to his two-tier policing system. Now, if Tommy Robinson can do that, imagine what he can do for Reform. Imagine Tommy Robinson campaigning for Reform UK. Imagine the people he can bring over to vote. I mean, that's a potential extra 20,000 votes there, isn't it? It makes sense to me. And for somebody whom the mainstream media and the left rafter on social media label as a far-right bogeyman, there were people on that march who were black, who were Middle Eastern. There were members of the LGBT community there as well. And they were all there thanks to him. And that 20,000 people who attended that march could be all it takes to gain that extra 2 or 3% to overtake the Tories. And then the possibilities are just eye-opening, aren't they? Or am I wrong? I mean, that's what I'd do. If I was Nigel Farage, I'd publicly make up with Tommy Robinson and I'd allow him to become a member of Reform, because I think we need everyone and everything we can get to give the Tories and Labour a political bloody nose, to make them realise that the country's had enough. The people have had an absolute gutsful of the way they have completely mismanaged everything. Everything that Parliament has touched has just turned to bollocks, hasn't it? That's the unification I would like to see on the right in politics at this very moment. And there we go. I'm Paz49. Thanks for listening, and until the next time, Roger Trout.